And a lot of people give the advice, oh, just make friends, bro, touch grass, this and this and that. But they fail to actually acknowledge that history repeats itself and patterns exist. And everyone's on social media these days, even old people. No one my age and below is not on social media. Everyone's on social media. There's no exception, except for the ones that are actually like fighting to get off social media. That's the thing. Everyone's addicted and they don't know, right? Myself included. I'm battling. But at least I'm aware that it's a problem. A lot of people don't, you know. But you go outside and you realize everyone's living, people, just because people don't say stuff doesn't mean they aren't thinking certain things, you know. And I realize that this society and the way people think are completely not the way I think as someone with neurodivergency. Now, I know you can't relate because obviously not everyone has autism, but a lot of people, a lot of people still like if you actually truly understood the extent of how people think, you will eventually realize that I can't make friends with these people because they will literally hate the way I think, you know? Because I've got a an opposing view to the majority of people, and I can't differentiate each person from, I can't make friends. And going on to making friends, your best bet of making friends was in school or university if you went to university. I didn't go to university, or college, because after that, forget it, man. Like, are you really gonna be that guy that small talks people? You need to know people for long enough to finally realize that they could be your friend. If you go outside and try and find a friend in the gym or in the street, you don't know what that person is like. How are you going to see that person enough times to realize that actually we do have a lot in common? It's near impossible. That's why you've got to be a neurotypical sheep. Not just a regular neurotypical, but like one of those like sheep ones that they love small talk. Other than that, forget it. And what else? Yeah, police. I got my bike stolen. They don't care, bro. I was working this was like a long time ago. I was working on a shift, and I called the police. Someone took my bike, and they don't care, bro. Why? Because we live in a society where people are getting stabbed. There's just so many horrible things that are going on, and they don't care. No one cares about you, you know? GP appointments. I had serious problems, serious health issues. They don't care. Why? Because they need to allocate the resources proportionally. Because the NHS clearly doesn't have enough money. So they don't care. You need to have a serious issue for them to care, even though I did. But unless you cry in the appointment, they don't care. What else? Girls. Doom scrolling. You know? Do girls even have the patience to look at you in real life? If you're not on their screen, you don't exist. You will never be able to, in real life, go and approach a girl because you're just invisible to her. She doesn't care. And she's too shy and anxious. She'll belittle you in her mind, but really she's just shy and anxious to even have a conversation. And then there's social media, quitting social media. You can't even quit social media without realizing you will be really, really lonely because everyone's on social media and the society's molded through it. There is no way you can just enjoy a natural life and meet people in real life because everyone's on their phone. Everyone's immersed in social media. And then you just get sucked back in because you realize, like, everyone's on it.